Okay, so let's say that you have looked through some quizzes and you haven't found anything that you really like and you want to create your own instead. So you would go up to where it has create a new quiz. It is going to then ask you to type in a name. So let's do basic geometry. Okay. One of the nice things that Quizizz also allows you to do is align the quiz to different state standards. So by clicking this box and then clicking on save, it's then going to prompt us for which standards do we want to align to. So if we want to do Common Core, let's say we wanted to do, I don't know, kindergarten standard, and then because it's geometry, we're going to align to math. When we add this, now when we go to put in questions, we have the option of tying a question to a specific standard so that when we do our reporting, we have some data that actually ties specific questions to a child to a standard, which can be very nice for parent conferences as well as for other things that we may need that data for. So we do have two options. We can either write a question from scratch or we can search from an existing data bank, which is all the other quizzes that are out there. So if we want to search from existing ones, this is a really nice feature. We're going to type in basic. Actually, you know what? We're going to type in kindergarten geometry. Okay. And what that does is it pulls up all of the different quizzes that would pull if we typed in kindergarten geometry. Now, if we click on one of them, it's going to show all of the quizzes that are in this quiz, all the questions that are in this quiz. So we see, what is this shape? She says it's a square. We've got the different choices. If we want to add this to our quiz, we can just click on add. Now it's added. Okay. If we wanted to add it a second time for some reason, we could. Or we could go on, let's say we want to take the circle one as well. Okay. We want to take the oval one. Okay. Now we don't have to take all of them from this quiz. We can just take the ones we want. Here's another quiz that came up for kindergarten shapes. So this one, the questions are a little bit different. It says, how many sides does a circle have? Okay, so maybe I want to add this one. So now I'm basically combining two different quizzes that other people have made into my own. Okay, so this is a kind of a nice feature that Quizizz does have. When you're done with that, you would just click on this arrow to get rid of that. And now you've got all of these questions already there. If you still want to create one on your own, okay, you could just click on create new question. You type in your question. Now, when you type it in on this side, it's going to preview what it's going to look like on this side for the students. That this is what they're going to see. So let's say that we want to type in the question, how many sides does a square have? Right? So you're going to see this is what the students are going to see. You have to have at least two choices. So we would type in 3, 4, 5, 6. If we wanted to add another choice, we could do that. We could put in, 7. If this were a different type of question and we wanted to make it multiple answers, then we would do that, and then we would just click on whichever multiple answers are correct. When the students go to click on theirs, they were going to have to click on both answers and then click on submit. You notice when you switch between multi-select and a single correct, that submit button goes away, right? Also, your answers are then going to be, you have to go back and change your answer to the single one that's right. All right, so then you could save that. Okay. Now, if you wanted to add in, see how the ones that we imported, or the questions we imported, had a picture with it, we could definitely do that to aid the students in answering the question, but it's not something that's necessary. Okay. As far as tying this to a standard, that was back on this page as well, we could click here where it says tag standards. When we do that, it's going to bring up the different practices for Common Core, but then because we linked it to the Common Core math for kindergarten, we could then go down and we could look for the geometry standard. Geometry is typically the last one. So we could tie this question to this standard, okay? And then that way, when we go to do our reporting, we will have data specifically for this standard on your students. So that's another nice feature that Quizizz offers that some of the other ones do not. When you're done adding your questions, you just click on Finish Quiz. Okay. It is again going to ask you to select a grade range. You could do, from kindergarten to kindergarten, from kindergarten, let's say, to second. You're definitely going to need to choose math. You can either choose some other things as well, geometry, early math. These are ones where you don't have to click just one. Okay, and then this way, other people that are searching will have opportunities to pull what you have done as well. Okay. All right. So then once it is saved, you can then again either play it live or assign it as homework, or just have the kids do it through as a station with their centers. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful, and you've got enough information here to get started with Quizizz. Again, if you have any additional questions or problems that come up, please feel free to contact me, and I will do my best to help you in any way that I can. Thank you again for your time.